Friends, welcome to our channel Simply Mathematical. In this video, let us do the subtopic increasing and decreasing function of the chapter applications of derivatives. Okay, so increasing and decreasing function. Okay, so now what do you mean by increasing and decreasing function? Okay, suppose we look at the graph of y equal to x square. So if you have this as 1, this as 2, this is minus 1, this is minus 2, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. Okay, so if you look at the graph of y equal to x square, right, what you will get if you have, or if you take the point 1 in the domain of the function, what you will get is the function value 1 square, right, that is 1. So the point will be here 1 comma 1, right. Now if you take the next point 2, so 2 square is what, 4. So the point 2, the function value is 4, so the point will be here, right. Now if you go to the negative real numbers, okay, so that is minus 1. Now minus 1 square is what, 1, so the point will be here, right, minus 1 comma 1. Okay, then if you take the point minus 2, then minus 2 square is 4, so the point will be minus 2 comma 4 here. Okay, so if you draw the graph, you will get a parabola. Okay, in this way you will get a parabola. Okay, now you can see that the graph is increasing for some part and decreasing for some part, right. So here the graph is increasing, right, and here it is decreasing. So here the graph is increasing, here it is decreasing. Okay, so what happens here, you have when x is greater than 0, right, for all the real numbers on the right hand side of 0, right, x greater than 0, what happens there, the graph is increasing, you can see that. So the function fx is increasing, right, and if x is less than 0, right, that is all the numbers which are on the left hand side of 0, the graph is decreasing because you start from infinity here, right, minus infinity, that is minus infinity you start from. So what happens when you come to 0 here, the graph decreases, you can see that. Okay, and then from 0 to infinity it increases, right. So from minus infinity to 0, the graph is decreasing, so fx is decreasing, right. Okay, so this type of graphs or this type of functions we will look at in this subtopic. Okay, so we have to study this type of functions. Now for that you need definition. Okay, definition of increasing and decreasing function, right, so that you can solve the problems. So let us look at the definition of increasing, decreasing, okay, strictly increasing, strictly decreasing formally. Okay, so let us see. So definition, let fx be a function, okay, defined on an interval I. Okay, so this is the interval on which the function fx is defined. Then fx is said to be first increasing function on the interval I, right, if x1 comma x2 in the interval I implies fx1 is less than or equal to fx2, right, for all x1 x2 belonging to the interval I, right. Now suppose we look at the graph right here. So what you have here, so you have x1 equal to 1 and x2 equal to 2, right. So if you look at the function values at this point, so fx1 is nothing but 1 square, which is 1, and fx2 is nothing but 2 square, which is 4, right? So what you have is x1 is less than x2 here, right? 1 is less than x2 implies this, what fx1 is less than or equal to fx2. Why? Because fx1 is 1, which is less than or equal to 4. So fx1 is less than or equal to fx2, right? So here we are taking the points on the right hand side of 0, that is the positive numbers, okay? So where the function is increasing, you can see that. So the definition also gives us that only, right? Okay, so now if we look at the second definition, that is decreasing function. Okay, decreasing function on I if x1, x2 in I. Oh, here I have not written x1 less than x2. Okay, here it is x1 less than x2 implies fx1 is less than or equal to fx2. This is important. Okay, x1 should be less than x2. So here also x1 is less than x2 implies fx1 is less than or equal to fx2, right? For all x1, x2 belonging to the interval I, right? So what you have here, oh, x1 is less than x2 implies fx1 is greater than or equal to, okay? So if x1 is less than x2 implies fx1 is greater than or equal to fx2 you will have, okay? So then the function will be called as the decreasing function, all right? So suppose you take x1 equal to say minus 2 and x2 equal to minus 1. So what you have here, x1 is less than x2, right? Minus 2 is less than minus 1, right? Minus 2 is less than minus 1. But what you get is the function values. So fx1 will be what? Minus 2 square, which is 4, okay? And fx2 is nothing but minus 1 square, which is 1, right? So therefore what you have is x1 is less than x2 implies fx1, right, that is this, which is 4, is greater than or equal to fx2, which is 1, right? 4 is greater than or equal to 1, so fx1 is greater than or equal to fx2. So you can see that the definition says that the function f is decreasing, and is it so? Yes, you can see that the function is decreasing here, right? Okay, so now let us look at the third definition, which is nothing but strictly increasing function. Okay, strictly increasing on I if x1, x2 in I and x1 is less than x2 implies fx1 is less than fx2 for all x1, x2 belonging to the interval I, right? So the function will be called as strictly increasing if x1 and x2 are in the interval and x1 is less than x2, okay, implies fx1 is strictly less than fx2, right? Okay, now fourth, if we look at, that is the definition of strictly decreasing function. Okay, strictly decreasing on I if x1, x2 in I and x1 is less than x2 implies what? fx1 is greater than fx2, okay? fx1 is greater than fx2 for x1, x2 belonging to the interval, right? This is the definition, okay? So what is strictly decreasing? Strictly decreasing means when you will have x1 less than x2 implies, it will imply that fx1 is greater than fx2, okay? Okay, now if you look at the graph of some functions, okay, let us see. So if you have the graph of a function in this way, here like this, okay, what is this function? You can see that the function is decreasing here, right? So this is strictly decreasing function that you have, right? Strictly decreasing, okay? And suppose you have a graph in this way, what you have here? You have strictly increasing function, okay? Strictly increasing function you have, okay? Now if we look at the graphs of other two functions, so for example, if you have a graph of a function in this way, okay, if you have a graph of a function in this way, so this, it increases, then it is constant, and then it again increases, okay. So what you see here, the function increases for some points and then it becomes constant, right. So horizontal line parallel to x-axis means constant graph, so constant function it becomes here, then it again increases, right. So the function is increasing at some points, then it becomes constant, and then it again increases. So here you cannot say that the function is strictly increasing, okay, you can only say that the function is increasing, all right. So if the function increases is constant for some points and it again increases, okay, then we say that the function is increasing function. Now if we look at the graph of this function, okay, like this, the function decreases at some points, then it becomes constant, and then it again decreases, okay. So that time we can call that the function is a decreasing function, not strictly decreasing. Why? Because yes, it decreases, but it becomes constant at some points, okay, and then it again decreases. So we cannot say that it is strictly decreasing, it is only decreasing function, all right. Okay, so now what you have to do is, what you have to know here is one definition, okay, that you will be using to write a theorem, okay, the statement, okay. So this definition is very important definition, okay, because if you understand this definition, then you will understand the theorem. So definition, let x naught, okay, be a point in the domain, okay, of the function, okay, f, right. Let x naught be a point in the domain of the function f. So you are taking one point in the domain of the function f, then fx is said to be increasing, strictly increasing, right, then decreasing, okay, or strictly decreasing at x naught, okay, at the point x naught, if the function, okay, if okay, if there exists an interval I, okay, if there exists an interval I containing x naught, right, containing x naught, such that f is increasing, okay, I am writing this in the same order, increasing, then strictly increasing, right, decreasing, or strictly decreasing, okay, respectively, okay, on I, that is on the interval I, okay. So let x naught be a point in the domain of the function f, then fx is said to be increasing or strictly increasing or decreasing or strictly decreasing if there exists an interval, okay. So there should exist an interval I, okay, containing x naught such that f is increasing, strictly decreasing, strictly increasing, decreasing or strictly decreasing respectively on I, okay. So you understand this definition, you read this definition, you might have understood it somewhat, okay, but what is the meaning of increasing on the interval I, okay, that also you know, right. Just now we have looked at the definition of increasing decreasing function on the interval I, okay. So this definition you have understood. Okay, so let x naught be a point in the domain of the function f, then fx is said to be increasing, strictly decreasing, strictly increasing, decreasing, or strictly decreasing at x naught if there exists an interval I containing x naught such that f is increasing, strictly increasing, decreasing, or strictly decreasing on I. Okay, so this definition which you have studied just now, right, before this, that you have to know properly here. Okay, then the definition is clear, right? Okay, now see, but now we will see how you can write the interval I. Okay, so definition, one more definition you have to know here. So a function, right, fx is increasing function, right, at x naught, right, at x naught. Okay, if there exists an interval, okay, I, which is equal to what, x naught minus h comma x naught plus h. Okay, see, interval I containing x naught, so the interval I can be written as what, x naught minus h comma x naught plus h. So if you have a real line here, if this is the x naught, then x naught minus h will be here. Why? Because see, x naught minus h will be what, a number minus a, okay, this h is also positive here, right, h is positive, that is important. Okay, so if h is positive, then any number minus a positive number will be less than the number, okay, x naught, the original number. Now if you do x naught plus h, okay, what will happen, the original number plus the positive number, so this number will be greater than the original number. Okay, so this interval will get, what is that, x naught minus h comma x naught plus h. Okay, so a function fx is increasing function at x naught if there exists an interval I equal to x naught minus h comma x naught plus h, okay, such that x1 less than x2, okay, where x1 and x2 are in the interval I, okay, implies fx1 is less than fx2. Okay, right? So what you're doing here is you're taking one point x naught in the interval I, and then you're looking at the interval. Okay, what is that interval, x naught minus h comma x naught plus h. Okay, so that interval you have, and then if you take x1 x2 in the interval, right, what will, and if x1 is less than x2, that is also important. Okay, x1 should be less than x2, then what will it imply, fx1 is less than or equal to fx2. Okay, if it implies, then fx is an increasing function. Okay, this definition you already know just now. Okay, I mean you already know it, we have done the definition just now. Okay, so only thing now we are considering an interval around a point, okay, that is x naught. We are considering this interval around the point x naught. Okay, and then we are talking about this increasing and increasing function. Okay, so that is the only difference, right? So we are writing this interval I in terms of a point x naught, so x naught minus h comma x naught plus h, and then we are taking some points x1 x2 in the interval, and then we are looking at this. Okay, so that is the meaning of increasing function at a point, okay, in the interval I. Okay, now let us look at the theorem 1. So if you have the theorem 1, okay, I mean if you look at the theorem 1, so what it is, let us see. So let fx be a continuous function on the closed interval a comma b, and fx be differentiable, right, on the open interval a comma b. right? Then first, f is increasing function, okay, on the closed interval a comma b if f prime of x is greater than 0, okay. So this is important, greater than 0 for all x belonging to the open interval a comma b, right? We are talking about increasing function on this interval, okay. So when it is increasing function, when f prime of x is greater than 0, okay, for all x belonging to the open interval a comma b, right? Now f is decreasing function on the closed interval a comma b if f prime of x is less than 0 for all x belonging to the open interval a comma b, right? So if f prime of x is less than 0 for all x belonging to the open interval a comma b, then we say that the f is a decreasing function, right? Okay, now third, f is a constant function, right, if f prime of x is equal to 0, right, for all x belonging to the closed interval open interval a comma b, right? So if f prime of x is equal to 0 for all x belonging to the open interval a comma b, then we can say that the function is a constant function, okay. So these three definitions are very, very important to solve the problems, okay. The first definition which we have done, then this theorem here, okay, this is very, very important theorem that we will use to solve problems, okay. Now you have to know one remark here, right? You have to know one remark. So first let us see the remark is regarding increasing and decreasing function on the open interval, okay. And also we will talk about strictly increasing and decreasing function, okay. So first we will look at strictly increasing function. So f is strictly increasing, right? If f is strictly increasing on the open interval a comma b if f prime of x, right, is greater than 0 for all x belonging to the open interval a comma b, right? So we can talk about strictly increasing only on the open interval, okay. We can talk about strictly increasing only on the open interval, right? Then when it is strictly increasing, if f prime of x is greater than 0 for all x belonging to a comma b and f is strictly decreasing, okay, on the open interval a comma b if f prime of x is less than 0, okay, for all x belonging to the open interval a comma b, right? So f is strictly decreasing on the open interval a comma b, okay, if f prime of x is less than 0 for all x belonging to the open interval a comma b, right? So the difference between the remark and the theorem is what? The difference is only this interval, right? And we can call the function strictly increasing only on the open interval, okay. That is very, very important, okay. We can only talk about strictly increasing or decreasing only on this open interval a comma b, right? Okay, so that's it in the video, guys. If you liked my video, please hit the like button and subscribe my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.